Got it. Okay, let's call this meeting of the Golf Commission to order. Before we get into the agenda, I'd just like to start by welcoming Nate Moyer and David Galla to the Golf Commission. Would you men like to just say a few words about yourself, why you're here? Why you're...
Wow, Don, that's dirty.
Huh? Nate, tell us about
All right, you want to go
yourself.
first? All right.
Yeah, sure.
Dirty.
Hey, tell us-
All right. Well, you know, I've been playing Tasha Knowles just about once a week. We do like a Monday happy hour league. Actually, Joe's in that league. So just I grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I love golf, have a passion for it, and I'm at Tasha with so much now that just wonder if there's something I can do to help, and maybe we can get some more tournaments or whatever I can do to help. I know I talk to a lot of folks. I also help with the Trumbull Fathers Club Golf Committee, which is represents all the elementary schools for golf. So definitely tuned into the golf. Regardless of how good I am, I'm not that great. Joe can probably attest to that. But love the game. So love the game. So you guys just let me know what it is I can do to help, and do what I can.
We will put you to work, Nate. Don't worry about that. Mr. Galla.
Mr. Esbeck, it's nice to see you in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yeah, nice to see you.
My name is Dave Galla. This is my second tour of duty. I was on the Golf Commission back in 2010 and 2011 as a replacement for a member who had moved out of town. And I worked finance at the time. It is nice to be back. I too have grown up at Tashua. That is the home course. It is the nicest golf course in the state of Connecticut, and it's a pleasure to serve. So I'm happy to be here, Don.
We are happy to have you back, David. And before I ask Andy to say a few words about himself, that's Andy down there in the corner, for those of you who haven't met him. There he is. I'd like to thank our committee, Diane, Shelley, Joe, for the yeoman's work that was done to secure Andy as our director golf course properties. As you know, it was interesting, and a lot of time and effort and sweat was put into making it happen. So thank you very much. Also, thank you and Owen for stepping in and coordinating and touching base with the crew while we are without a director. So again, thank you all. It was a tremendous effort. And having said that, Andy, you have a few things to tell us about you? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm putting you on the spot.
No problem. I'm happy to be here. Nice to see everybody's face, put names with faces now. I guess a little of my background, I grew up in Pennsylvania, been in the golf business for 30 plus years, last 20 years in some type of supervisory capacity, probably 26 actually, but a superintendent for 20 years. I was down the road for the last 14. I live up in Brookfield, Connecticut, so it's a shorter commute for me, and I'm excited to be part of the team and join the Tashua team. I went through the process. I'm happy. I've done a lot of studying of a lot of paperwork in the last week or so, and just eager to get on board. Wait for the paperwork to go through, and I'll hit the ground running, I hope, within a week or two. Not sure what else to say.
That's fine. That's
Okay,
fine.
I can add more person to person.
No, that's sufficient. We just wanted to touch base. And I forgot, you mentioned paperwork. So I forgot to thank Christine for her role in all of this, to helping to move it along. Okay, well, why don't we move on to the agenda. First item, review and approval of prior minutes. We have two of them, right, Christine?
Yeah, please do them separately.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have the dates in front of me. I'm not dealing with hard copy. What are the,
Can we start with January 24th, 2020?
can I have a motion to approve the minutes of January 24th? Joe,
Motion.
second?
I'll second.
Any discussion, corrections, changes? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the minutes of 24th?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? David Gallo abstains?
I have to. I wasn't at the meeting, Don.
That's fine.
Good point.
Motion
I
carries.
wasn't on the board at the time, but I listened to it. I was at the meeting, if that helps, but
It's fine. And the other meeting was what date?
February 10th, 2020.
February 10th. And that was the meeting where we
Special meeting.
had a special meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of that meeting? Joe,
Oh,
Diane, seconds? Any comments, discussions, et cetera? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, abstained? Motion carried. Up, Nate abstained and Dave abstains.
I wasn't at that one. I can't
Oh.
vote for that.
That's
Same reason.
okay. Moving on, audience participation.
If there are members of the audience who would like to speak, please press the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen, or *9 if you're on the phone. And Mr. Saunders would like to speak, I'll bring him in.
No? Is anybody there?
Yeah, Don, Rob Saunders is gonna speak. Bill's bringing him in.
What the?
Rob, I think you're on.
There we go. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm used to being a panelist on these, not an audience member, so I don't know the functionality of it. Sorry. My name is Rob Saunders. I reside at 4404 Madison Avenue. I grew up here in Trumbull. I returned 6 years ago and wanted to serve my community that gave me so much. So I currently serve as the vice chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Had I known it any better at the time, I should have asked to be placed on your commission, because I'm one of the few residents in this town that has been servicing the golf course industry for the past 23 years. The last time I came before this commission, I expressed my disappointment in moving on from Hidalgo. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I stated it was the worst mistake this commission has ever made. Then Hidalgo was replaced with Doug Snyder. We all know how that worked out, which brings us to Paul Lupo. The Tashua golf community owes a huge debt to Paul. He took over the reins and was able to reinvigorate the morale of the maintenance staff, maintain quality playing conditions with dilapidated equipment and without a mechanic. And the course had one of its best years ever. Last season, I brought 2 different foursomes of other golf course superintendents from private clubs in the area, and they were all extremely impressed with the playing conditions, knowing the amount of rounds played at Tashua and the constraints of maintaining a public golf course. Paul was a diamond in the rough. Even though he doesn't have a formal degree in turf maintenance, for someone under 30, he knows just about as much as any seasoned golf course superintendent. He put a great deal of effort to demonstrate this to the commission. He put a great deal of effort to demonstrate to this commission that he deserved to be given the position of superintendent of the golf course. But more than that, he deserved this commission's respect, which I don't believe he ever received. I understand the town's hiring process and the other external factors that delayed this process. That aside, ultimately, I believe it's the lack of respect and appreciation for the job he did last season by this commission that caused him to no longer be an employee of the golf course. I want this commission to recognize that when negotiating Paul's potential compensation, you were quibbling over less than 0.1% of the overall annual budget for the golf course, for arguably the most important position on the golf course. However, you guys got lucky with Andy. He's the most pragmatic, resourceful, and personable superintendent I've ever met, and I know he's going to do an amazing job. This commission has a lot of work to do. The maintenance equipment needs to be overhauled, and you need to find a mechanic who will actually maintain that equipment. This course needs a new irrigation system. The clubhouse is updated. Now that you have the right people in the right place, this commission needs to be focusing on taking advantage of the recent increase in revenue to address these issues I just identified, and to come up with a long-term plan for continuing to improve the golf course to ensure a sustainable resource for the town of Trumbull. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else out there, Bill? Okay. Moving on. Shelley.
Okay. Bob Saunders is not on, I guess, anymore, but I'm going to lead into saying that we at Tashmore Knolls Golf Course owe a debt of gratitude to Paul. He had done an amazing job. It was just noted. I totally agree with him on all that. And we are all sorry that it came to him not joining us at the end, but we do thank him so much. And with that, I want to welcome Andy and look forward to working with you this year. We did not have a Greens Committee meeting for obvious reasons this past month, but I do have just a couple of notes because I too thank you, Owen, for helping with our workers in my absence too for the last couple of weeks. But I did have some notes from Matt, and he said that they're to let everyone know that they're still clearing dead trees and the overgrowth between holes 8 and 18. As far as equipment, we are in the same spot as we were, and that is their concern mechanically. So they are obviously expressing some concern about that. Jeff also replied saying that he's finished painting the entire office ceiling as well as finished painting, chipping green the flag poles, put the best flags on all the new poles, and the Glen and the Knoll cups are all set. Working now on T markers. And then he brought because I had a flat tire to fix that. So that's the report that I have for right now. Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
Do we want to discuss opening day? What our plans are? Bobby, shaking your head?
Not, well, I think the commission has expressed they're gonna give Andy as much time as they can, but I think we have to let Andy get on property to make a valid assessment. If we don't open till April 15th, we don't open to April 15th. But I'm just going by what you guys mentioned the last meeting, I believe. I think really it depends on when Andy can get on boarded. I think it's scheduled for maybe March 14th or something, I heard.
Yeah, I can jump in here. So I think Andy's onboarding date is officially March 14th. I think, well, I was up there today, but there's still ice and snow on the course. So I don't think March 15th is a viable opening date. So let's let Andy get on there and talk to the guys and see when our first day of play can be.
Okay, that's Andy and Bobby will come to reasonable decision once
Yeah.
Andy gets on board. Okay, that's all. I mean, that's kind of the logical approach anyway. I thought that's where we would end up, but I just wanted to get that out there.
And Bobby, from your perspective, and Andy as well, I mean, I was up there today. It doesn't look like we're going to open by the 15th unless we have, 60-degree days for the next 15 days, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, this ice just came on. I mean, we had more severe ice before, and it did melt. The weather in New England's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm more thinking on the side of Andy. There's a lot that he has to assess. As far as I know, there's been no work done to any maintenance equipment. Not that you need the equipment right away to start mowing. But he has to learn the property and get with his guys and crew, hire some staff, which I saw some applications come in today. So he's got a lot to do, and I think we just owe him at least that to get settled and put our best foot forward. I mean, yeah, I don't think the middle of March is a possibility. I'm thinking more like April 1. Again, I'm just throwing a date out, but it's really I was there today. I'll be there full time starting tomorrow. So it's we'll just once we get Andy on board, we'll do our best to get it open as soon as we can for sure.
That's fine. There's no great rush. Okay, Bobby, do you have anything else for us?
Oh, yeah, I didn't submit a report because I wasn't, pretty much off, but it's no report in terms of submission, but in terms of just a couple of comments, I too want to just echo, I want to thank just publicly, I want to let everybody know it was a true pleasure working with Paul. I learned a ton from him being, like Robert said, he's a young guy, but the guy really did a great job for us. And it's, I wish him the best at Racebrook Country Club and his future, because he's going to be a star. He's definitely a diamond in the rough. With that being said, I start back to work tomorrow full time. Looking forward to a new season. I have hired a junior golf assistant who will be coming on in May, late April, but I'm still looking for a assistant golf professional. That has been unsuccessful. I've had 3 candidates so far. So I'm still looking. So I'm making preparations to start my season a little bit slowly and ramp up probably in March. Ramp up in May for my programming. So that's all I have. Any questions?
Okay. Any questions for Bobby? All right, moving on. Tony.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm going to support both Bobby and Shelley. Paul Lupo and I worked very closely. Matter of fact, I commended him for the work he did publicly and in writing in some of my charts. So that could come up at any time, but that's in writing. And leading into Andy, welcome to the team. I will work closely with you. I work closely with Paul. We did a lot of things some things we could have had contractors do, but we did it ourselves. So I look forward when you get on board to, get a meeting together with Chris and we could go over where we're at. I'd also welcome Nate and David. And if you have construction experience in the mechanical and electrical, I certainly will welcome you, and you could help me design and stuff. That would be great. So, but truly that would be helpful. If not, I could still get some efforts out of you in some way. With that said, with that opening, if you look at my bullets, we did get some things done in the past 6 months with getting the front and rear entrance now complete. But now we have to start doing the painting. Of course, we can't paint though until effectively the weather changes for us. We want to work on the 17th hole. That shed rain shelter needs some wood repair and green paint. And this is where, Andy, you would come in. You'd help me work with that rather than putting it out to bid to somebody. We would do it in-house. The lightning protection system still is, we're waiting. We know that the ground is still frozen. And we all have all the parts, but we're waiting on that. I have completed the UI input on the rebates for LED fixtures in the clubhouse. I've sat with Chris I really got to get with Don and Joe on that, but we have a complete analysis to review. Unfortunately, we know the funding right now is a challenge. I'll say it that way. I got to work with Dominic on the bathrooms and the rugs. I would really like to buy new rugs, but I don't think we're going to have the funding for that, but I would still put it out there. The roof, everybody knows the problem we've had with the roof. The bid is now, we should have those bids in March 3rd, which is Thursday. So they'll be open then at 2 p.m. if anybody wants to attend. I will be there. You can. The other thing, the clubhouse, we did take care of the bill. The clubhouse heating and air conditioning is all done now. They'll probably come back just for a tune-up because we really can't run the air conditioning now and get a good reading on it. So we've got that in writing that they'll come back and do that for us. The final thing is, we never really had a good preventive maintenance program. So I'm now working with CAS. Hopefully they're going to come in on Friday. That was the game plan. And I'm going to put together, I have the program you follow for preventive maintenance. I'm going to expect that of him. And then, which would include photos as well, to try and prevent what we had occur with the with the heating and air conditioning unit going down, especially going right into the winter season. So with that, that's where we are right now. And I still look to Joe to give me some funds.
Never.
Squeeze them out somehow. But that's it from me. Thank you.
Any questions, comments for Tony?
Tony, for the carpets and everything inside, what are you thinking that cost would be?
If you tell me I could have some funding, I got to go. I don't have that, Joe. So I can go do that. If we would at least consider it, I'll say that to you, because the carpets, if you walk through there, I had him clean them last year. He did it.
Yeah.
I still think, it's something that we should take a look at. And obviously this would be a shared program because it's not just us as the golf commission.
Right. And I think in the contract, it's 70-30% or something like that.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
We have 200,000 in capital outlay for next year.
Right.
100,000 I'm allocating to the roof, and then 100,000 to miscellaneous projects. So, I mean, we could look to borrow some of that money for the carpets if it's best spent in that regards. But I mean, if that money can be spent on tractors to boilers, so we just got to look at what the best cost.
Sure. See, if we did the lighting and the carpets, that would really dress up the inside of the clubhouse.
Okay.
That would be my comment. Those two things would make it. And again, look, we all know the clubhouse, how old it is, and the potential of it in 5 more years. Saying we won't have a clubhouse. We'll have a new clubhouse, but we don't have the crystal ball for that.
Right.
Therefore, that's why I'm still bringing it up as a potential benefit to the clubhouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tony, if you need help, I can help paint. I'm no Ansel Adams, but I can help you paint if you need an extra hand to help you and Andrew with painting that on 17.
Okay, Nate. Thank you. I will. Yep. I'm gonna make that note, and it's recorded.
Bobby.
Yeah. Tony, did you speak with Dominic? I seem to remember, because I know my pro shop was done. I think those carpets were installed in the latter part of 2019. Is that true?
I'll tell you, that's before my time, Bobby. I did not do that work. And
that carpet is pretty new. That's why. So if it didn't, I know.
The carpets are out the clubhouse, Bobby?
I know.
They are. He's absolutely right. They are fairly new. It might have been 2018, but they were. The deal is that also that Dominic gets to choose, and he chose like Empire today. They were not good quality carpets. That's part of the problem. I think we only spent about 10,000, but we did the pro shop too, which he's only responsible for the hallway area, the stairs, and the ladies' locker room. If we want to do the pro shop or my office, that's entirely up to us. But it has to do with the quality of the carpet. It was not good commercial carpeting.
And so, Chris, do we have invoices from 2018 or from?
I'm sure I do. Yeah, okay. I'm sure I do.
I'll look them up.
I'll get it.
Thank you. And in our meeting, we could go over that. Great.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Good. So, Joe, there you go. We'll come back with
some
real numbers on what it's been done in the past.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else for Tony? All right, moving on. I don't see Dominic here. Finance Committee, Joe.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'll be brief. Our income from last annual year remains the same, 2.68 million, which is again record setting. I expect this year to kind of taper off because everyone's returning to work, but us to still remain strong over our 5-year average. Moving on to our expenses, there's nothing out of the ordinary too much. Our reimbursable to golf course funds is at 107%. This, as you all recall, is because of our workers' compensation claim that we have ongoing. This will balance out with our salaries full-time because of the mechanic. Moving on to miscellaneous business. First, I want to welcome Andy Freeze, our new superintendent. I want to say, good job and Godspeed to Paul Lupo. I enjoyed working with him and I wish him all the best in his career. To echo Bobby's comment, delayed opening. I kind of defer to Bobby and Andy and everybody else up there to tell us what is best. Obviously, we have, I don't want to say enough money in the bank, but we have enough money to be comfortable that if they need 2 weeks or a month to delay, then that's their decision. And, it's not going to be life or death this year with us. My final thing is really my plan this year. What I hope to accomplish is a 15 to 20 year strategic plan. Next meeting, I really want to vote on a vision statement. We have tossed this around back and forth. This is just where we want Toshua to go in 10, 15, 20 years. From there, I want the Greens and the House Committee to kind of say, this is what we want to accomplish in the next 10 to 15 years, year by year. We bring it back to the Finance Committee, middle of summer, end of summer. We kind of work with our budget for the next 15 years and say, where are we going to fund the irrigation project? Where are we going to fund the house project? Where are we going to fund this? And then finally, we have the full commission review sometime in the fall, just to get final input and put it to a vote. My goal is to put Toshua back on track and kind of say, this is the vision for the next 15 years. And if anybody comes in, we're not going to deviate from this strategic plan. So I'm open to feedback. I'm open to comments, but, I really want us to be more an advisory board and just kind of stick to this plan and say, okay, we said we're going to do this in year 5. Why wasn't this done? Or, we have more money in year 5, so let's pull some projects in from year 6. But that's kind of where I want to take this.
Comments?
Any
Comment?
Yep.
I'll just say that Greens Committee will get working on that. It won't happen overnight, but everybody else's vision. So if you want, you can email me or whatever, and we'll certainly be discussing it in the near future.
Excellent.
Joe, the only, and from the House Committee, obviously I'm prepared to put budgets together for each year, but when you say 10 to 15 years, isn't that, should we do a shorter range plan and a long range plan?
That's fine, Tony. I mean, I just, I think for the past few years, we've been, I don't want to say shooting from the hip, but, patching things as we move. And I just want a strategic plan. So, I mean, if you want to do a short-term and a long-term vision, that's by all means good.
Okay, great. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it that way. Okay. Try and get more immediate results versus, short-term and then longer-term things.
I mean, my goal from a finance perspective is to say, I know what my costs are going to be for the next 5 years. And then I know what my costs are estimated to be for the next 5 years after that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Thank you.
Joe, your thought here seems to start with a vision statement. How do we go about developing that? Well, that is true, right? I mean, you're saying come up with a vision statement that the full commission votes on before.
Yeah, I mean, I think my thought in that is, I know we've talked about this back and forth for a few years. My thought is, which way do we want to go? We can either be a public course that does, is the cheapest course out there and doesn't invest in our future, or we can be, a more competitively priced course that is the best course because we invest in infrastructure and equipment and everything else. And where do we want to pull in the premier golfers, or do we want to pull in the family and town and something for the town to be proud of? It's just kind of a vision statement of where we want to go.
That's fine. That's good. How would we go about developing that?
I think we just,
What
as
do
a commission, we toss it back and forth and we kind of.
Committee? Do you want a committee? Do you want?
No, I think.
What?
Well, we have a vision statement from previous years, right? That we chewed on and we never officially voted on. And I think we pull that out and we kind of regurgitate it and bring it before the commission next meeting.
I'll jump in a little bit and just say, we, Owen and I, and talked with Paul about a vision statement as far as even maintenance. And then let's say if we were going to do some more aeration of the greens, and that's an example. So do we want to do that, which might mean we close down or limit on a weekend or not? So that's where I think Joe's going to with the financial end of it. So what are we looking for? So we've already started talking about that ourselves on greens. And so we want to come before, have all of you give us the direction as to which way we want to go. Are we in it just for how many rounds we're going to have? Or is it going to be what the condition of the course is? Do we have to turn down some tournaments or other business? So, we've talked about this, so we would like a direction from everybody too. So how we're going to propose it all, I'm not sure, but Andy is new to this. We got to give him some time to think about it and learn our course, but that would be something that we'll definitely be discussing.
Exactly. And this is a rough timeline I have on my presentation, but if we can have it by the end of the year or beginning of next year, that's really what I'm going for. Is this year is a rebuilding year. We know we're going to have good money. We know we have a budget to work with this year. Let's take this time, let's take this breathing room, and let's really look on the vision forward for the course.
Well,
Joe, I just want to add, and Don too, we do have a vision statement. We just never voted on it formally.
Right.
So I will send it to everybody again, and you guys can tweak it if you want or agree with it, but vote on it. But the vision statement has been floating around a long time. So I can forward it to everybody tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'll be a good starting point, okay?
Yeah.
Am I being heard?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I'm not showing up green here. I thought I'd show up green for the green outline. Okay, that'll be a good starting point.
Any questions from the finance?
I do have one. Last I looked a few days ago, we haven't got a final audit from the town. Do you have any information?
I don't. I'll email Maria tomorrow and see.
It hasn't been posted yet.
It's not, no.
Okay. That's where, folks, that's where we actually find out precisely how much money we have in our bank, for lack of a better term, at the end of the last fiscal year, which is last June 30th. And that's usually done by the end of December, but for some reason it hasn't been done or posted anyway. So we don't know precisely how we did last year yet. Okay. Anything else for Joe? All right. Diane, do you have anything for us?
Let's see. Not really. I mean, the fruits of our labors is sitting in the meeting, Andy. That was a very long, tedious process, and I think all of us that were on that committee are grateful that it's done. I know at one point I talked to Joe, and he was just tired of talking to people on the golf commission. So, yeah, that's, I don't really have anything new. I know Christine is starting to get the paperwork for the people we have to hire for the seasonals and stuff. So, that's our next big hurdle.
I just want to add to that, yeah, Andy and I have already talked about that. So we are, the starters and rangers, several of them are on already, so we're good to go with that. Andy has agreed, and talking with the maintenance guys who are there already, we're bringing back everybody who was on last year, which we were still short-staffed. But on the town website and all over, we are hiring for starters and rangers and greenskeepers and a mechanic and a gardener. So if anybody knows anybody who's looking, spread the word, like us on Facebook, get the word out there that we're looking. We actually already have several invoices for both starters and rangers and a few greenskeepers, and it's only been posted like a week. So so hopefully there's some interest out there, but spread the word, we're looking.
Chris, if you could, I was approached last year by several women who they had applied and wanted to get hired as rangers. And, it was always kind of poo-pooed to have women out there. So you might want to mention that to the women too.
Just so you know, we only have had one woman apply. So I'm not.
Well, maybe because a couple of women approached me, so I don't know if they approached me for her or if they approached me about themselves. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, we've only had one woman, and it was last year, and we haven't had quite a few people apply last year. Teddy's in charge of interviewing them. I know she was interviewed. Certainly, we do not discriminate in any way, shape, or form on any of that.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that that's another resource. It doesn't always have to be men. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely. That's why I spread the word. Everybody,
Yep.
Okay, moving on, we have a request from Chris Lenson and Jeff Penkoff, who I see are on the call. The request was in your package. If you want to look at it, it involves blocking out tea times on a Saturday and Sunday, September 17th and 18th. And Chris, what's not mentioned is what you're asking for in terms of cost, but has Chris, Bill, can you let Chris in and let him talk to this? And then
Yeah, sure thing. I was just about to ask about that.
All right, am I in? How you doing, guys, girls? Can everyone hear me? I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you for your, taking your time out to hear what we need. Me and Jeff want to ask for. I guess realization was that the letter I also sent on Thursday kind of didn't include what we had talked about. We were going to try to talk about last month also, but it got tabled due to time constraints. So, I mean, I don't know if anyone had eventually read the letter from the from the January meeting that was sent out, where we're looking to host the districts. It's the 75th year. The tournament's been going on, and Tasha's been hosting on a rotation pretty much every 6 or 7 years. This is Tasha's year to host. we are some of the, I guess it doesn't matter, I guess, how many teams we have. Currently we're slated to have 6 courses from the area. Mill River, hopefully Oronoke, if they can put together a team under new management. Smith Richardson, Fairchild Wheeler, Bronson. So typically it comprised of a 13-man team where we have multiple divisions. We call them a junior division, which is the championship flight, which is anyone under 50 years old. The senior flight, or under 55. The senior flight is 55 to 65, and the legends flight is 65 and older. And our budget is primarily, we charge 800. We were charging $800 a team, which usually covered everything as far as pro shop credit, restaurant, food in the restaurant for lunch, golf carts, award ceremonies, crystal for the winners, and whatever miscellaneous expenses there were that came up. Typically, we are looking first to have the tournament, this larger portion of the tournament, on Monday, September 12th. As far as I know, the date was still available. And obviously it would be in the morning. The original idea was that in the past years, we've always been able to get the greens fees waived, but we would still pay for the carts. And as far as I've been involved for over 15 years. Every course has been able to have their greens fees waived for the tournament, and in lieu of us spending anywhere between $5,000 and $6,000 or $7,000 amongst the rest of the course, which gives Tashua or any course that hosts the opportunity to market their course to a lot of local players. We're talking about 60, 70 players. Even at the height of the tournament, we were over 100 players. We had people from Brookline and Patterson also playing in the tournament. They don't play in the tournament anymore, but each course tends to, it's just a great opportunity for all local players to play in a competitive environment against each other and see where everyone matches up.
Okay, let me cut you off here a little bit,
Yep.
Chris. If we can just kind of hone in on what you're asking and get a sense of the commission. You're looking for some weekend tee times to be blocked out on a Saturday and a Sunday. And you're looking for some consideration of the cost.
Correct. But
Monday.
like I said, I mean, the email that I sent out on Thursday, I guess I was taking into consideration. I should have sent out the other email I sent out a month ago to indicate that we were looking to host, the first part of the tournament on Monday the 12th.
Yeah, no, we got that.
Okay, so
September
looking-
12th would be about 2-3 hours worth of tee times that you're looking for consideration of the rates.
Right.
And similarly, consideration on the weekend, but also blocking out a series of tee times.
Right. For the weekends, it would be 7 tee times on Saturday morning.
Yeah, and I think 3 or 4 on Sunday.
4
What
times
is
in
the,
the afternoon.
in the afternoon, and then 1 time Sunday morning and 2 times on Sunday afternoon for the finals. So it's kind of like, I don't know if anyone's played in a club championship, or you have a qualifying round and then you go into match play. So Monday the 12th would be the qualifying round. We would knock down from 60 players down to, say, 20 players. And then we would start the match play event on Saturday morning, which we would need 7 times.
yeah,
of the
Chris,
20.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I'd like to get the sense of the commission with the idea, whether we're going to hone in on this further, or anybody have any comments? Owen?
Yes, being familiar with this, obviously connected with the men, there are two points I could make out here. The times are being requested are in September when some play does drop off, and it's not that many times. Secondly, our regulations, as far as green fees are concerned, allow for a tournament to be waived if all the other clubs waive the greens fees. So our regulations clearly authorize the waiving of the greens fees.
I would counter that with, we had the Trumbull's Fathers Club fall outing last year, similar dates, and we charged them in resident rates. So I would be more inclined to say we would allow an in resident rate tournament or something similar, but not waive the greens fees. We're here to make money and finance our budget.
I understand that, but I'm looking at our regulations, and it allows each affiliated club, of which the men's club is one, as well as the ladies and the seniors. And it says that two tournaments a year would be authorized at the rates that are customary when they're done elsewhere. And this is only one of the two tournaments.
Well, yeah.
We either go by our regulations or we don't go by the regulations.
No, I don't think the regulations say we have to do it. I think you're saying we could do it.
No, it doesn't say that. It says, I'll read it for you.
Well, this isn't, Owen, this
Yeah.
isn't a men's club either, though. This isn't a men's club request, is it?
Yeah, it's just because the men's club pays the $800 dues towards the tournament, so.
It says that each Tashua Knolls affiliated club may sponsor 2 outside golf association tournaments per year at rates that are customary when the event is held elsewhere.
But Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, customary events, I would understand that to be, in resident rates. We get those requests from time to time, right?
We do, but can you guys hear me? Because my thing's not lighting up
Yeah.
green.
I can
Okay.
hear you.
Yeah, it like the example you used about the Trumbull Fathers Club, Joe, that wouldn't count. They wouldn't get any special consideration because it's not being sponsored by the men's club or something like that. So Owen is actually correct. That is the rules and regulations that's been voted on. I'm not sure when the last vote or when that's been amended, but that's the rules and regulations.
2012.
Yeah,
2012.
No, we voted on the rules in 2019.
Yeah, maybe on some of the some different changes. But that's I mean that's been used before, and I think we hosted it. I think the last time we hosted it was in 2014.
Yeah, 2015, we hosted it and it was approved in the December minutes. That indicate that we were approved to have 100 players, but I'm not looking to have 100 players. So I mean, based on like you said, based on the fees, we're probably looking at about $2,000 to be waived in some fashion.
Chris, this is Tony. I got a quick question.
Yeah.
So the line that you say, how does it not impact other individuals trying to get those times on that Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon? If I'm not sure how that works.
I mean, there's 28 there's 28 times, and I'm figuring that 7 times, or even in the afternoon is 4 times, is very minor. And it's the third week of September, where I know, like I said, a lot of people stop playing after Labor Day.
So it's an assumption, because if we're really busy, it would impact our times.
Right, but I'm
That's an
also not saying that that people are going to be playing. It's just something we've been doing, unfortunately, forever.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think it's in the spirit of the game, and to bring other players to this course. I think people look forward to playing in this tournament, and I've gotten multiple requests already asking me when we're going to play on it, when it's going to be happening at Tashua, because everyone looks forward to coming to Tashua. Like I look forward sometimes to going to Bronson or Mill River once every 5-6 years. A lot of the guys, play in these tournaments. So, but when it comes around, it's nice to be able to accommodate the way other courses do.
Chris, it's Tom. Are you looking for on the tee times on Saturday and Sunday? Are you looking for the greens fees to be waived for Saturday and Sunday, or just on the Monday?
In past, we've had them waived on the weekends, but I'm not greedy, and I've talked to a lot of the other tournament chairmen, and they're willing to either have their men's clubs pay for, either have the players pay for their greens fees themselves, or have their men's clubs pick up the tabs for them. So I mean, primarily I'm really looking for the Monday, because that's where our main part of that's where our budget resides around mostly, and then the weekends was always we request them. I've never had to pay for a greens fee on the weekend based on at other courses, but again, if that's a sticking point, then I have no problem making sure that the players that qualify for the tournament, for the match play portion, are on their own and they pay for themselves. Maybe if there's some caveat of, hey, if you win the morning round, you're able to play, you don't have to pay again for the afternoon round, because it is a match, you'll be playing 36 holes a day if you make it to the finals. So
I mean, just for reference, so if this was a tournament, right, which is $80 a player before 9 o'clock, 14 foursomes, it's $4,500 that we're sacrificing for that Monday. Yeah.
I have to say, I mean, I played in the district years ago, but I'm not comfortable giving up Saturday and Sunday tee times. The demand on September is still there. They're gone in 3 seconds in September. We thought the demand might be down, but it wasn't down until November. And I don't want to violate any rule and regulation, but I'm not comfortable giving up that revenue. I'm with Joe on that. I would have to look at exactly what the rules and regulations say. I can't assess.
I just read them to you.
No, what I can is, I'd want to read them. I'd want to read them on my own. I don't think we're forced to do it. I can't believe the rules and regulations force us to agree to this.
Can I jump in for a second?
Yes.
Talking about just if it's a Pandora's box that you're opening. Nuba, the women's group, which is, they play, I think, every year. I'm not positive. So if they find out that this is offered to one, are they going to say, okay, we want you to waive the greens fee for us? Because I think they pay full. I don't think they have any arrangement like that, but somebody could correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, I would be open to, a consideration of resident rates or something that we collect some money for. But just to waive green fees for the sake of tradition seems excessive to me.
Sake of tradition, that's okay. I mean, that's.
I don't know where to go with this, Chris. I don't know what we're even, if we were going to vote, what we're voting on. I got to be honest. Where to go? Yeah, I'm not smart enough to figure this out. But we're asking for tee times on Saturday and Sunday, and some consideration on the rates.
I mean, 7 years ago, it was voted unanimously, and now we can't, I guess.
Well, but again, I'm just saying, I don't know where to go with this.
I had a question too, kind of talking about. Go ahead, Tom. I'll go after you.
Yeah, Chris, how many casual guys? You said the teams are 13 players per team?
Is that it does open Pandora's box. That's our problem. A few years ago,
Question.
Sounds like we got some feedback here.
Can everyone mute?
Let me
Yeah.
get, tell me if I'm doing something wrong, but let me get a sense of the commission as to whether we want to proceed with this discussion or not.
Yeah,
What
so
is-
Don, if I could, I know I'm the new guy here. But I remember when I was on the commission back in 2010, and I know that that was a while ago. I believe that we had tournaments that had been come in that were tournaments similar to what Chris has brought to us today, that that we had approved and authorized a greens fee waiver for, due to the fact that those other organizations had hosted in the past. I believe that we had done that back in those times. And, you know, I think we should at least continue this discussion.
I had one question. We were talking about numbers, and Joe, you were talking about numbers. I don't want to create more work for anybody, but is there any way to see like what our usage rate is on the weekends in September? We say it kind of drops down, but is there a way to like kind of see if we're filling all those tee times on the weekends, or if we're actually leaving some open? That might just give us a better sense of how much money we actually might lose, or if, you know, we're seeing like, you know, only half.
I don't have those offhand, but I can tell you that September, hold on a second here. So our average in September is $272,000. Last year we did 316. 2020 we did 310, right? So it's a traditionally strong month. Our highest month, which is June, is about 420. So we're still strong in September.
Yeah, Nate.
Yeah, I just
weekends-
wondered if we could see what our Mondays look like in September, because if it's like we're not filling those up as much on Mondays, because I think that's what they're asking for the waiver.
Yeah,
to be on the greens fees.
And Mondays traditionally are tournament days, which our pricing structure is if you go off before 9 a.m., it's $80 a player, because we can open the course up at 2 p.m. for recreational play. And if you want to go off at any time after, it's $10,000 flat fee, because $8,500 is what we expect to collect on a Monday during, you know, the season.
Okay.
So I mean, the question is are we okay sacrificing, in theory, half of our Monday revenue for a tournament? And then again, to Shelley's point, opening Pandora's box, because there is no bad charity or event.
Right, but this has been allowed for, you know, it's been, the Pandora's box has been open then, because it's been like this since 2012 or 2010 or we held it in 2007, we held it in 2015. I mean, I don't have since I'm the treasurer and the chairman of the tournament, you know, I can go back. We had it in 2000. We probably had it in 1993. We probably had it in 1986. So, I mean, it's never, you know, and we used to, you know, and same thing with the NEPLs. We used to host the NEPLs.
So then should we just allow all free tournaments and jack up the in-resident rate to $100 around?
No.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
All right. Going back to Pandora's box comment, this is why we have the rules and regulations in place that's prevented Pandora's box. I know we do waive green fees for CSJ events, but that's also in our rules and regulations. So I think the commission has protected with regards to either, if they did, if you did okay this event, because it has been approved in the past. So that's why the rules and regulations are there. This is the perfect reason why we need, Joe, I think you're right on the money with the vision statement, the strategic plan going forward, who we want to be. Do we want to support events like this for the good of the game? Do we want to support the CSGA? Or just we just want to be a municipal golf course that just takes money no matter what. So it really depends about what we want to be in golf. But we do have the rules and regulations in place that prevents the Pandora's box. And Snuga, they do play a Tashua, but under the rules and regulations, like Owen stated, I did compare like what other golf courses charge. So the rate that we do charge a fair rate. So our rate is very comparable to what other courses charge. So they do pay a greens fee. So that's all I have to say.
Well, just to one point, we are sponsoring the CSGA this year, right?
Yes.
I mean, we can't sponsor everything.
Right.
And we made a decision to forego revenue with the CSGA to support the CSGA. And with this,
As we requested first.
this is gonna forego
No, but
significant
Owen
revenue.
said there's 2 events that can be hosted.
2 events per club.
So as I understand, you'll host those events and host no men's tournaments?
Does this
Not where we waive greens fees.
So these are events we're hosting outside of member tournaments, member guest tournaments? Or
Correct.
or are those separate or are those the same? Are those in the same category?
No, they are not in the same category, and you're not hosting the member guest because greens fees are paid.
Okay. I would want to see the language. I don't know, yeah. What is the exact language again, Owen, please?
Bona fide sectional, divisional, state, and national golf associations and home and away invitationals. Each Tashua Knolls affiliated club may sponsor 2 outside golf association tournaments per year at rates that are customary when the event is held elsewhere. Now, if you have your rules and regulations with you, I can give you the section.
No, I got it.
Feels to me like something we have to consider at this point because of that rule. Probably the rule was put there for this very situation, probably maybe this exact tournament for that matter. So given that that regulation is there, I think we need to at least reconvene or do it, now. I'm not sure when we do it, but consider that wording, because that wording sounds pretty clear to me. Now, what's not clear to me is, can you have an extended tournament? Like this is a Monday, and then it's a Saturday, and then it's a Sunday, and then it's a Saturday, and then it's a Sunday. That's a little different than kind of, just a one-day thing. So there's a couple things going on here. There's the whole Monday thing, and then there's a whole following weekend, 2 sessions each day on the weekend. That needs to be considered. But as far as what I can hear, what Owen's reading, it seems pretty clear to me that there's a regulation in place that says all the clubs, associated clubs, are allowed to have 2 tournaments a year with competitive rates. Competitive meaning, commiserate with whatever the when we're doing the home and away, when we're away, those facilities charge, which is nothing, from a greens fee standpoint. So
I mean, I guess I agree, we do have to look into it with that language, but it says may sponsor. Doesn't say must, it says may, which means it's, you know, we can. If we choose to. But,
No, it doesn't.
And all other clubs have agreed to waive the green fees. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess the question is, you know, Bronson and everything is private, right? So there's, in theory, okay, you can do a guest fee, but
Bronson, Mill River, like I said, I mean, I mean, looking at my, I'm the, my budget and so forth, I mean, I've never, you know, everything has been, hey, every year, this is the tournament we have, this is what we have, you know, this is our budget, this is what we pay for. And, you know, we always, you know, the greens fees are always waived. You know, I've never had, I mean, and I know everything changes, and I know nothing isn't set in stone, but, you know, it's something that we've been doing as far as I've been a kid, you know, as far as I've been, you know, my father used to play in this tournament, you know, how many, you know, just going back for almost, you know, for 45 years, you know, 50, you know, 45 years now. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I get it. I just have a consideration that, you know, there's no such thing as a bad charity, right? And if we open this, I get Bobby's point, but at the same time, you know, any other golf program or any other charity that's trying to raise funds, like, we do open a big consideration for other tournaments. And that's my concern. I know we're protecting the rules in theory, but
I would like to get a sense, because we're not gonna, we're not gonna
Yeah.
iron out the details here. We're not, we don't know what, you know, what rate is customary when it's held elsewhere.
it's zero. I mean, you know, not to, I mean, is there a better day to have the tournament than a Monday? I mean,
But
you
they're
know,
not foregoing revenue, they're clubs.
not Fairchild Wheeler,
Okay.
not Smith Richardson.
And they have done it recently.
Yes. Fairchild hosted it last time, 2017. Smith was 2019.
And they,
We were kind of going every other, you know, we were trying to do every other year. It was going to be public, private, public, private.
Chris, as we talk about this, would you be amenable to some kind of like maybe compromise where maybe the Tashua players paid their fee, but the guests didn't, or some kind of compromise off of what you're proposing here? Would you be amenable to that? I'm not suggesting that would be the compromise, but would you be amenable to some kind of compromise?
I mean, I'm looking at my budget, 9 different ways to Sunday, and just trying to figure out, you know, whether, you know, how we could, you know, whether we cut back on something to you know, I mean, I'm always up into something. My problem is, since we tabled it from January to now, I'm getting pushed from the other clubs to make decisions on trying to figure out when we're going to have this tournament. And since the 19th or the 12th is right now the only Monday available, other than maybe the 26th, but as far as I know, September 26th is marked for air rating. You know, I mean, I'd push it back to the 26th if I could too, and if, you know, if that meant getting this approved. I mean, I'd say, you know, because so I'm open to, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, if it comes down to it, I'm open for something. If there's a middle ground here of trying to figure out what to, you know, what to do, I mean, 0 would be awesome. Resident rates is just going to be, you know, too much. You know, if there's some other way in between. So
is in favor? This is not a motion. This is just a general. Who would be in favor of considering a request to sponsor the districts where we allocate the tea times on the weekend, which was, so I think, 7, 4, and 5, something 7 on Saturday and
4, 1, 2.
Sunday, and a carts-only rate for the participants? Who would be, that's Chris's ultimate, Chris and Jeff's and the men's club's ultimate request. Who is in favor of that request? David? This is in general, this is just the consensus. Just trying to get an idea. Who is not in favor of that request? Two people have stuck their neck out, and
No, and Don, I think it's impacting times, you know, I mean.
Don, I have.
all residents-
okay, I got it. So here's my question. Let me ask it again. Who is in favor of the request by Chris where the participants only pay for on Monday morning, Saturday and Sunday, plus they get, who is it?
Out of control.
And then they get the tea times blocked on the weekend. Who is in favor of that? David said he was in favor of that. Owen is in favor of that. Tom is in favor of that. Who is not in favor of?
No, let me clarify. I thought Chris's request was Monday getting paid for, the weekends not.
No, I'm going the whole enchilada.
Okay.
Are you in favor of the whole enchilada? What he's asking for? I got David and I got Owen. Who is not in favor of?
No, I'm in favor for it.
So I am not in favor for it.
Tony's not.
Shelley's not.
Diane? Diane's frozen. Nate, do you have any thoughts on this matter?
I mean, I'd be open to hearing a little bit more about it, especially like what we've done in years past. But right now, I really wouldn't make a decision yet, but I'd absolutely be opening to listen to get more information about what we've done in the past and how we can use that towards this.
I am not in favor of it, which would be 4 not in favors, but we have 3, maybe 4 that would, that's the whole enchilada. If we could work out some compromise on rates, would that change matters?
For me, yes. I mean,
Even giving away the tea times on the weekend?
look, I came before everyone before, and I didn't vote on the Fathers Club, and I said, you know, resident rates for a tournament, and it was unanimously passed. You know, we still had a great day and everything. I am willing to compromise, but I'm not willing to give away our money, especially when we're up against, as Rob Saunders put it, an irrigation system, a new house, new mowers, countless costs of increases of fertilizer. I mean, the ball is not in our court right now.
I got that. Tony, your issue is giving away the tea times on the weekend?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can't hear you, no. Tony, you there?
Yes, mine, again, I think we've had residents come in already on weekends and talk about getting times in the new system.
Done.
This is not.
Can you hear me?
Times on the weekend.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Tony. Diane, I cannot hear you. fragments.
Diane, maybe you could text somebody and give your answer that way?
Well, it's still not going to be, oh no, that would be 5.
Yeah.
But Joe would be willing to compromise on the rates. Diane has texted me, but she's not in favor of the idea.
I just texted Shelley.
Yeah, I got it. That's the bare bones. But then if we compromised on the rates, we might get a couple votes the other way.
I texted you, Shelley. I texted you.
From what, Chris,
Yes.
there are 5 people who are not in favor of, for lack of a better term, the whole enchilada. Okay? So if we voted on your whole, on that, it's not gonna pass.
Okay, got it.
If there's a compromise on the amount, there might be a possibility. But I don't know, I just don't know where to take that.
Okay.
Anybody have any thoughts how to proceed? Can somebody help me out here?
I mean, I would say come back to us with a financial consideration and we would certainly consider it.
Regardless what the regulations say.
Regulations say may. We will read it. I will read it carefully, but it says we may do that. Doesn't say we have to do that.
Listen, Owen has something.
May I interject something? When it says it may, it doesn't say that the tournament has to be held. It doesn't say that the commission has to have a tournament. It says that if a tournament is requested, effectively, the commission may authorize it.
Correct.
It's a permission.
So,
So if we came back with to pay $20 a player plus cards. I'm not sure where everybody went.
I'm here.
I mean, I think we need to vote on something, a specific request. The specific request, which we haven't formally voted on, but if it would appear that if we did, it would lose. So I think I might have just answered my own question.
So pretty much you're saying that if we don't do minimally resident rates, then the tournament will not be held at Tashua and I'll have to find another location. But
I would say that, yes.
such a
Somebody
distinction.
else?
You got tournaments that are 75 years old and we're talking about $2,000.
We're talking about a new mower, right? We're talking about fertilizer. We're talking about our backs against the wall with no money, right? Like we know the trend is good right now. We know the money's there. We're saying come to us with a consideration because otherwise we can sell out this day for $8,500.
It's at least $5,000. Mondays have been booked.
It's not booked at the
Tournaments
moment.
and with non-tournaments.
What about the proposal that Monday greens fees were waived and that the greens fees are paid on the weekend?
Well, I think that's a consideration, and if that's how we want to progress, then come to us with that proposal, but
All right, then.
we don't need to differentiate into that tonight, right? It's come to us with a proposal and we can accept or deny it.
So Chris, it's Tony. One other change is, why do you have to play it on the weekends? Why can't you play it during the week?
I mean, 90% of the guys work during the week. I mean, it's,
Well, they take a day off. I've had to do that in my career many times.
yes, but not to take 3 days off. Everyone's going to take a day off on that Monday to play in the tournament. And then obviously if you're good enough to make it to the match play portion and then make it to the finals, now you're talking about 3 days off. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be there regardless if I play in it or not.
Right.
Because I play in it and I run it, and I've won it 2 years out of 20. But it's just I'm a controller. I'm a tax accountant. I understand the specifics. I understand the issues. I do budgets and I do all this stuff. And sometimes, and Jeff, he'll laugh his ass off when I say this, but sometimes it's more about the money. And I'm the biggest proponent of making sure that every dollar, every I is dotted, every T is crossed, and every penny is, accounted for. But sometimes, it becomes, heart-wrenching sometimes. And maybe, I've been playing golf my whole life, and, it just gets harder. But,
Chris, we acknowledge that. I'm telling you, we can vote on your proposal because we have to move on.
right.
We've been at this long enough. We realize it's different ways it could go. You could be $20, you could be $30, you could be $50. The request was for the weekend tee times being blocked out and a cart-only rate for the
Right, I mean,
X number of tee times. And if we can vote on that, or you can come back to us with something else. I'm giving you that option.
No, it's fine. I mean, if
But
we,
if we
if we,
vote on that now, it would appear it's gonna go down. And we can't keep going back and forth now. We're gonna charge $20, $30, $40. We can't do that in a meeting with, 9 people.
yeah, but you're not going to give me I mean, if I say, fine, and if Monday, if Saturday and Sunday are full rates. I mean, because
I can't tell you what
Right.
everyone is gonna vote. We're trying to,
right, so if I change.
compromise with 9 people here. We need to vote on something specific,
Okay,
and it's not up to us to tell you what that specific is. What you did ask is, we can vote on it, and it's gonna go down.
so if I amend my request
There's a possibility it might not go
Right. All right, I'm going to do it right now. This is my amendment, if possible. I'll amend my request for $20 greens fee on Monday with full cart and resident rates and cart fees for weekend for the week with the tee times on the weekend for all weekend times. Does that make sense?
I got it. Does everybody have that written down?
No.
No, and I think you still have to put a written proposal together. I think that's that's a great option. But we have to vote on something in writing. That's my
Yeah.
comment. I don't know about
yeah.
you, Joe, what you think, but that's
I agree. I mean, I'm not opposed to
No, me neither.
considering a discount or a negotiation. But I just need to chew about it a little bit, you know, it's, what are we really gonna lose on a Saturday and Sunday and, you know, Monday?
Okay.
So,
All right. So let's have a vote of, if we vote on the initial request, which was in writing, which is,
Dawn, can we vote to table this to the next meeting, in March? Give Chris some time to come back with the option in writing, like Joe and Tony were saying.
sure,
What he has, sure.
yeah,
we can do that too.
Okay, I make a motion to table it till March.
I'll second that.
Second it.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, so motion's carried. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Sorry. And with that, do we have any old business? Do we have any new business? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Shelley? Diane seconds, all in favor?
All right.
Aye, opposed? Nope, okay, we're done.
Thanks, Don. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night.